Hello and welcome to Anime Memories, and on this episode, I'm going to be talking about Appleseed Ex Machina. Firstly, I'm really sorry for the lack of videos lately. This internship has just been kicking my ass, but it's been good. It's been really good. I've learnt a lot so far. So, moving on from that. In my last review, I covered the original Appleseed and I said that I'd be covering this movie somewhere in the future. But after I made that video, I sat there and thought, why not just do it now? So if you want to get caught up, I'll leave a link to my Appleseed review right about here. However, I'll try and explain myself in a way that will make sense, even if you haven't seen that video. Alright, here we go. In the year 2133 AD, there was a global war that wiped out half of Earth's population. When the war was over, humanity decided to try and change their aggressive tendencies by creating a utopian city called Olympus. It's mostly made up of humans and bioroids. However, Olympus also has a large population of cyborgs who are people that have been modified with robotic parts in order to fix major injuries. For some reason, cyborgs have been especially violent recently and have been committing a ton of terrorist attacks. You know, for a utopian city, Olympus always seems to be under attack by somebody. Dune and Newt and her comrades at ESWAT have been tasked to find out if this is some kind of cyborg uprising or if there's something else making the cyborgs go crazy. To start things off, I have to say, the story here is so much better than it was in the original Appleseed. Instead of trying to cram in all these side plots, they decided to put most of the focus on the main storyline. And because of this, the movie was very easy to follow, so I was able to get caught up in all the mystery behind the cyborg terrorism. Since I'd already watched it, I knew how it was going to end, but there were so many little things in the middle that I'd completely forgotten about. It was actually really exciting to be able to experience all that again. Outside of the main plot, the anime decided to keep one side plot from the previous film, and that was the relationship between Dunan and her cyborg boyfriend Briarios. Their story is continued here, with everything becoming much more interesting with the introduction of Terius, a bioroid that was cloned from Briarios' DNA. This causes a whole heap of confusing feelings within Dunan. She never really cared that Briarios was mostly robotic, but when a flesh and blood version of him walks in, she struggles to deal with it. It's also very confusing for Terius. He's just been created, he's barely been given a chance to find his place in this world, and now he's been thrust into the middle of this love triangle. And of course, Briarios starts becoming insecure and thinking that maybe Dunan would be better off without him. All of this drama was very interesting, and the way it concluded was beautiful and heartwarming. Another positive is that Ex Machina uses exposition way better than the last movie. At the beginning, it gives about 2 minutes of background information on the global war, why Olympus was created, and the purpose of the bioroids. And in those 2 minutes, I learnt more about the setting of this anime than I ever did during the previous movie's long, boring exposition dumps. The explanations were much more concise, and that allowed for more time to be given to other aspects of the film, like the characters. The protagonist Dunan is just as compelling as she ever was, and Terius was a fantastic addition. I loved seeing him grow. There were even a few side characters that I was able to form a connection with. Iacus in particular stood out to me. I found his part in the story very touching. However, all of them are overshadowed by Briarios. Since he's a cyborg, he gets caught in the middle of everything, and while I can't go any further due to spoilers, I will say that he goes through a lot of trials, and the way he handles them is extremely commendable. Now, The 3D visuals yet again are a big selling point here, and holy crap, what an improvement! We've gone from top tier PlayStation 2 graphics to about mid-tier PlayStation 3, and for me at least, they were good enough to keep me immersed in what was happening. It still shows its age, but nowhere near as much as the previous film. The animation has also increased in quality. It looks absolutely sick during the action scenes. And unlike the original Appleseed, the animation stays fairly good even outside of the action. The character movement does occasionally look a bit unnatural, but it's still such a massive improvement. The only new issue with Ex Machina is that the lip sync with the dub looks really off.
What's happening?
He got fired. Next thing you know, he grabbed a landmine, started turning the...
Next thing you know, he grabbed a landmine, started turning...
I guess with the upgrade in technology, it was difficult to have English voice actors sync up with the motion capture that was done in Japan. Honestly, I noticed this more than I would have liked. However, since I was so into the story, it didn't take away too much from my enjoyment. When comparing the two movies, I think that this one made improvements in pretty much every single area, and that includes the soundtrack. Unfortunately, most of the songs are still generic, lame and forgettable. However, every now and then, one song would come along and I would say, you know, this actually sounds pretty good. Overall, it's nothing special, but it is a step up from the mediocre soundtrack in the last film. The first Appleseed movie was a massive disappointment. I even ended up saying that it wasn't even worth watching anymore. But luckily, Ex Machina definitely is. The greatest thing about it is that you don't even need to watch the original in order to enjoy this. It acts as a fantastic sequel and a really solid standalone film, so I'd highly recommend it, especially if you're a sci-fi fan. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment, and if you like this video and want to see more, feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.